Alright folks, welcome back to the fourth week of me going through phase 4 of the MCU, and today we'll be deep diving into a film that well should have at least happened by the start of the third phase, and that is Black Widow. This is the 24th film in the MCU, was directed by Kate Shortland, and was written by Eric Pearson. The film takes place just after Civil War and follows the character as she confronts her dark past of being a spy and the relationships she had before becoming an Avenger. Scarlett Johansson returns as the hero. Florence Pugh plays Yelena Belova, who is Natasha's younger sister and is a Black Widow herself. David Harbour plays Red Guardian, who used to be Natasha's father and is essentially Russia's old super soldier. Rachel Weisz plays Melina Vosutkov, who used to be Natasha's mother and also a Black Widow herself. Oti Fambale plays Rick Mason, who's a SHIELD agent who helps Natasha. William Hurt returns as Ross, who is after Natasha. Ray Winston plays Dreykov, who is the leader of the Red Room, and Olga Kurylenko plays his daughter, who is an interpretation of Taskmaster. Like the Phase 3 films, a Black Widow film was always thought of for years. Lionsgate acquired the rights to use the character in February 2004, and that April it was announced that David Hayter would be going on to direct and write a film along with Avery Arad producing. However, by June 2006, the project was dropped and the rights went back to Marvel Studios. The company and director still worked together to try and get a new company to make this film, but nobody seemed serious to take it on. Hayter overall was heartbroken but hoped he could make this film eventually. Finally, when the character appeared in Iron Man 2, Kevin Feige mentioned how he had talks with Scarlett Johansson about making a standalone film. But at the time, the studio was more focused on creating the Avengers, which she obviously appeared in as well. Nothing else was mentioned until Feige was talking about the character's past in Age of Ultron. It said how he wanted to explore it more in her own film, where they revealed they had already done some development for a film themselves. Eventually, the actress expressed interest in a solo film and said it would be a massive ask from the audience. Hayter would go on to express his own interest in reviving his old project, and even Neil Marshall said he was up for doing a film about the character. Unfortunately though, years later, specifically in April 2016, Feige mentioned while promoting Civil War that a Black Widow film wasn't in their current schedule, so if they did start one, it would take another 4 or 5 years from then. By that October, the actress said how a film about the character could be a prequel, saying that they could go to Russia and explore how she became the assassin everyone knows. She would go on to say the next February that she would do anything she could to get the film made. Finally, Marvel noticed the support and decided to move forward with the film they already planned. Feige would go on to have meetings with Johansson about the film in October 2017, before Marvel began meetings with writers for the project. Jack Schaefer would then go on to meet with Feige in December, and he was then hired to write the film by the end of 2017. He would then go on to meet the actress and discuss the direction of the film by February 2018. Marvel will go on at the same time to meet with female directors to take on the film. By the end of April, they had gone through 65 directors in a thorough search. Eventually, they had a list of 49 directors where the overall top choices were Kate Shortland, Amma Asante, and Maggie Betts, who all met with Feige and Johansson that June. Funnily enough, the actress was the one who approached Shortland after watching her film Law. Shortland was overall hired by that July. By February 2019, Ned Benson was then hired to rewrite the script. The following month, Florence Pugh then entered talks to join the cast. Marvel would then go on to state that they'd been looking at the actress for the role since late 2018, but instead decided to approach other actresses the month before. They then decided to go back to her after seeing her performance in Fighting With My Family. The actress was then cast in April 2019 along with other actors. Before Pearson rewrote the film himself, a scene between Natasha and Tony Stark was written. Danny was even reported multiple times to be in the film, but overall Shortland and Feige decided against it so the character could stand in her own film. Filming began on May 28, 2019 in Norway. Shortland took inspiration from How to Train a Dragon, No Country for Old Men, Thelma and Louise, and even Captain America the Winter Soldier. Rob Hardy was supposed to be the film's cinematographer but left just before filming began, so Gabriel Verstein took over. The cinematographer also worked on Agent Carter and a couple of Marvel's short films. The film moved to Pinewood Studios in London in June 2019, with Ray Winston joining the cast later on in the month. They then filmed at Hankley Common in Surrey, England around mid-July. The film would then go on to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 with the release date on May 1st, 2020. Production would then move to Macon, Georgia for a week, starting on September 30th, 2019. Set photos from filming in October will then reveal that William Hurt would be in the film. Other film locations of the film had were Budapest, Rome and Morocco. Filming overall wrapped on October 6, 2019. Matthew Schmidt and Leah Fossen-Boyd served as the film's editors. Test screenings would go on to begin, however a scene where the main character wore a t-shirt and underwear was disliked by audience, so they ultimately got it cut. However, as it always happens with these Phase 4 projects, COVID happened, and in March 2020 the film would then go on to have its release date removed by Disney. They would then give the film a new release date on November 6, 2020, but it would then get delayed another 2 times. However, let's quickly rewind to January 2020 when Alexander Desplat was revealed to be composer of the film. However, in post-production it was revealed that they replaced the composer with another one, Law Bleth, in May 2020. The film finally premiered on June 29, 2021 at different fan events in London, LA, Melbourne and New York. The film would then go on to release in the US on July 9th along with being released on Disney Plus for $30. Overall, this was resulted in a bad relationship between the main actress and the company. However, I'm not going to dive into it since I don't know the full context, other than it involves her contract. The film would then be made available to purchase digitally on other platforms on August 10, 2021, and was then made available on disc on September 14th. For Disney Plus users, the movie would then be free on October 6. The film made $183.7 million in the US and $196 million everywhere else, overall making $379.6 million. The film made $67 million in its first weekend on Disney Plus. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a 79% from 438 reviews, and Metacritic gave it a 67 out of 100 based on 57 reviews. The film was nominated for 27 awards and won 6. This credited for its good effects, acting, and overall being an entertaining movie. Plot-wise, I think this film is pretty solid, to be honest. This is something everyone wanted to explore for a good while in the MCU. Really nice seeing Natasha and her old family, really. I really liked how she wanted to neglect it while Yelena and Guardian didn't really. For the two girls, it's really understandable why they would be on such an opposite viewpoint, while Red Guardian, he's just wanting to live his old glory days, which is overall just quite fun really. I'll admit Milena is the weakest in the family. It's just typical how she's the most mature out of the girls, and she's still the most obedient one to the Red Room. The show plotlines were also okay, just to make us know when this film was set. For overall stuff with Rick Mason having a thing for Natasha was kind of unneeded really. Kind of felt like it was a cover up for the fans who shipped her and Clint. However, another solid performance was from Hurd as Ross. Now finally for the Taskmaster stuff. Yeah, such a waste for a classic villain, and heck, it's very predictable. Honestly, if they wanted to do this, why couldn't they just create an original character and make it feel more unique like the other projects in this phase? Honestly, since this is an MCU movie, this film is still entertaining, and has plenty of action. However, I'd say it is simply just an MCU movie and just feels like one completely. Not the best and not really the worst. A solid 3 out of 5 or a 6 out of 10. So that's the making process of Black Widow along with my thoughts, guys. If you have any facts or your own thoughts, please comment down them below. I'd really love to hear it. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe if you've been watching the MCU videos for a while now. And yeah, as usual, I haven't really got anything else really to say. This film was okay. I don't really see much hate for it. I just think it was a decent enough entertaining film. And again, I really think it should have been in Phase 3, set in between like the Civil War release, but you know, it had a complicated development. Anyways, that's all I really have to say really, so I'll see you next week.
The only thing missing in Black Widow's life
Such a klutz.
was love.
Hey, I'm Ultron.